No, because if you don't know these 4 facts about diffusion, then you're really going to struggle with your GCSEs and you're really going to struggle with biology in general. This is so important to understand because it underpins so many different parts of biology, and I guarantee diffusion will come up in both of your GCSE biology exams. So we're going to start with the perfect definition of diffusion. And our perfect definition is that it is the net movement of particles from high to low concentration. Now, why is this the perfect definition? Well, firstly, we have said that it is the net movement. You've got to remember that diffusion is the random movement of particles due to their kinetic energy, and they're just going around in any old direction. But overall, those particles are going to be moving from a high concentration to a low concentration. It's the net, it's the overall movement that is important. Now, the particles do have energy, they have kinetic energy, but this is still a passive process. No energy input is required from the organism itself, from the cells. That means that unlike something like active transport, where the organism has to put in the energy, for diffusion, that doesn't have to happen. There are 4 main factors that affect diffusion, and you've got to know all 4 in lots of detail. Starting with our first one, we're going to start with temperature. Now, temperature, the reason that it affects the rate of diffusion, like I said about the energy, well, the particles have kinetic energy. And if we increase the temperature, we increase the energy of those particles, meaning that they move faster, and so they spread out quicker. Increasing temperature increases the rate of diffusion. Factor number 2 is going to be surface area. Now, the surface area of the exchange surface is basically how big that exchange surface is. And if the exchange surface is bigger, then there's more space for particles to move into those cells. Let me know in the comment, what do we call that folded cell membrane that you might find in the small intestines? Our third factor affecting the rate of diffusion is going to be the diffusion distance. We could also refer to this as something like the diffusion pathway. And it's very simply, it's how far the particles have to move in order to get from that area of high concentration to the area of low concentration. Make that distance smaller and they're going to get there quicker. And so the rate of diffusion increases. Now, when we talk about diffusion distance, it's really important that we're careful when we talk about things like membranes. There are 2 types of membrane in biology. There's the cell membrane, or there's something like a tissue membrane, which might be made up of multiple